Yo, how's it going? The name's Donnie Allen, how about you? I got some 2K23 REC gameplay in the background. I'm humbly one of the best players in the world. Shout out Tatum. But the NBA offseason has been filled with a lot of moments thus far with things like free agency and summer league. We have a good idea of what final rosters will be and what the expectations of roles should be for new players in those new places, but there's still some remaining chess pieces in this free agency that keep me up at night. The first chess piece is based off the reports that CP3 wants to start for the Golden State Warriors. When the Warriors traded for one of their biggest rivals, we've all seen him do the fake laugh when Steve Kerr turned away, and he's low-key one of Steph's nemesis. That was a pretty surprising trade. If you'd have asked me, I would have said the Warriors kept Poole, but I guess there was just no undoing that locker room turmoil. The thing with CP3 is he's obviously there to replace and improve upon Jordan Poole's production on the court, and not just box score stats either, even though we know who'd get those assists. But what if the Warriors simply traded one locker room cancer with another? That could be the undoing right there. You would also think it's in Christopher Emmanuel Paul's best interest to come off the bench, especially considering he's 38, and this is not a LeBron 38. This is a series of injuries, a damn plethora of injuries over the last couple of years. And he's always out in crunch time during the playoffs. Groin injury there, wrist there, So I think it's time for you to preserve those ties, CP3. A ring with the Warriors next year would certainly help the legacy, even if it's just a six-man row. Alright, next up, the next chess piece we have is James Harden. He has opted into his player option with the 76ers, and he's also asked out for a trade. Here's what we think we know about Harden. We thought he wanted to go to Houston, make a return, but realistically that just didn't make any kind of sense. And even Jalen Green talked about how he didn't even think it made sense considering the young core that they have there in Houston. I feel like James Harden being just planted there would really kind of suppress any kind of developing that the young core even had in the first place. But James Harden is a pretty good playmaker, so maybe something could have worked out, but you really want the ball in the hands of Jalen Green, Şengün, and see what those guys can do. And I don't think James Harden would want to take a back seat to that. But the truth is that James Harden, his target city is the Clippers, and he's taking a long-term contract to get the bag. He took a pay cut last year so that the Sixers could get PJ Tucker and Daniel House, but they didn't do much good with that, losing to the Celtics in the second round. And Harden took a pay cut for a year, and he said, that's it, that's all I got. He's at parties with Michael Rubin. That lets you know where his head's at. To be honest, I think Harden missed the boat when he didn't sign long-term max money with the Nets or the Sixers initially. And he's slowly but surely getting worse and worse over time. He's definitely not the player that he was in Houston, even though that can come out from time to time in the playoffs, and especially during the regular season. But right now, he's still at an all-star level. He's not, by any means a bad player, but is every all-star player a max money kind of player? I don't think so. And he can definitely give Tyler Perry and Medea a run, when it comes to the fat suit. But if you're the Clippers, do you even want Harden? In the short term, yes, but long term, that could be a very bad contract. They've already got Paul George and Kawhi in the books, and what the rest of the roster look like if you're the Clippers. A Harden deal for the Clippers would really put them in the bind in the future, and they've got a new stadium coming soon, and someone's gonna have to fill those seats. Gonna need a good team for that when you're in LA. Now, Damian Lillard is the next chess piece. As we all know, he has asked out for a trade from the Portland Trailblazers, and he's got one team on that list. One team, the Miami Heat. But here's the thing. The Heat do not have the pieces. They simply don't. And people think that the Blazers should just send him there anyway because he's been so loyal to them. But if another team, like the Celtics or the Utah Jazz have a better trade compensation, is that not the Portland Trailblazers' every right to send Dame there? Tyler Hero is playing a position already filled by Portland's young core. They've got Scoot, They've got Anthony, they've got Shaden. They do not need another young guard. And I like Tyler Hero. He's gonna be a great player. He already is. He's a pretty decent player. He's got a lot of potential. So if the Blazers did want to send Dame to Miami, they would have to get a third team involved, because there was no use for Tyler Hero. Would they even get Jaime Jaquez? And then who else are you gonna get? You're not getting Bam. You're not getting Jimmy. So what would you do with those? That's not a serious trade to me. So a third team is going to have to get involved if Dame is going to go to Miami. Now the question is, if you're the team that has enough pieces, why wouldn't I just trade for Dame myself? Why would I want to help the Heat out? I don't owe the Heat anything. Now, say you didn't want Dame for whatever reason, because let's say you're a young core, Tyler Hero is still a good piece, so maybe you want him. Let me know where you think Dame is going to go in the comment section. I think wherever he goes, that would really shape the upcoming NBA season. But one of the biggest pieces to this Dame saga is that Dame would play for any team. It's his nature. It's his brand. Do not run from the grind. And Dame, he already did kind of once. Would he do it twice? Dame would really be running from the grind if he held out on a championship contending team like the Celtics. Yeah, because that would still put him in a really good position to win a championship. Because I know he wants to go to Miami so bad, but there's a lot of good teams out there that would put him in a much better spot than Portland would ever be able to. So, and here's the thing, I think Dame wants to go to Miami so bad because he still wants to be the number one option on offense. He wants to prove that he can lead a team to a championship being the number one guy. If he goes to a team like the Celtics, he would probably have to defer to Jason Tatum to some extent, but if you go to the Heat, all of a sudden he's the number one guy. And it still has a pretty good chance as well. It's been your boy Donnie, and that's it for the NBA free agency remaining chess pieces. There were some other signings like Bruce Brown, Fred VanVleet, and Kyle Kuzma, but I just wanted to touch on some of the more important changes that happened this offseason. If you like this kind of content, take the time to like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any ideas you'd like to hear. Thank you. Peace.